GangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Much about it with regard to the top rank card. Now we get into the PBC pay-per-view. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. Before we get into that fight, though, definitely got comment on the undercard because there are some stuff definitely. And I'll start with the co-main, Jason Rosario and Erickson Lubin. Hell of a fight, hell of a fucking fight it was. And then you saw the best and you saw the worst from both. The worst being their chins, as both.
That's true though. That's true.
Not only the chin, the body. It's funny because I put up a tweet last night. And it kind of got some traction. And I said that Jason Rosario has the glass. He actually has the glass body that everybody accuses Keith Thurman of having. And this guy really has that glass body. That's really
super
it.
facts. Fucking super facts.
Yeah, I don't know what it is or what he's eating, man. I don't know if he just needs to see a nutritionist or he needs to go to the doctors, but he doesn't.
I think he's just too big for the weight. Honestly, I think he needs to go up because that just seems like the guy's just taxing his body too much to make it down to 154, and I feel like that's part of the side effect.
Yeah, he was looking bigger than Tito at 154, and Tito was looking big at 154. This guy is a big 154. He's almost up there, how Jamal Charlo was looking at 154, big. You can take your ass to 160.
Or Hurd for that matter.
Another one. Y'all niggas take y'all ass to 160. What are y'all afraid of? Y'all big as fuck.
Y'all go ahead and fight each other at 160.
Y'all too big. In Rosario, I'm surprised how he gets his body so cut up for that weight, and it's obviously affecting him. He's feeling drained. He can only fight for maybe 4 good rounds. Come on, man.
Yeah, he was tired.
You hurt yourself for the long term.
Right, but then in the first 4 rounds, though, he almost, he had Lubin in some trouble. Lubin has all the skills where he has respectable power, though. But that chin of his, when dude starts coasting, he gets caught, and when he gets caught, he starts doing the hucklebuck. So it's
That's why we were saying he has to KO this dude and don't let him stay around. I feel like that's why he did that.
Because even Kevin Cunningham was getting on his case. What are you doing? You had him dead to rights.
He had him out of there.
Now you're just taking the round off. He should have continued it. He could have gotten him out that way.
We spoke on dude work rate. And I'm trying to keep telling people, look, you don't have to be a big puncher to get KOs. You just really got to be consistent. Even if you don't have the temperament of a KO artist or the power, if you just keep putting hands on somebody repeatedly, then, especially if you know how to do it in spots where they're on the ropes, or you can fire off 8 or 10 punches and, a ref will stop it. That's how Lomachenko stopped Nakatani. That was a 9-punch combination, 8-punch, because it was 1 and then he let off 8 after that. So yeah, total it was a 9-punch combination that made the ref stop Nakatani.
Yeah.
These dudes are capable of that. And this is guy in Lomachenko who no one's just saying young. He's not in his prime of his life. He's kind of the downside of his prime.
Mm-hmm.
So he's no longer Pete Lomachenko, and he's still doing that. So when I see young fighters, of course we expect dudes to be down, putting hands on dudes, getting them fuck out of there.
Right.
So I'm glad he felt the urgency, and he said, look, well, I might not survive one of these desperation moves by this dude. Let me get him out of there.
Yeah, and he did. And
that's the reason why we was getting on Shakur Stevenson with that shit.
Yeah, because for Lubin to get knocked out by him after he had him struggling, ready to go, would have been a horrible look for him. Dude would have to go back to the drawing board.
It would have been the whole what's that? Hank Lundy, David Diaz fight, ain't it?
Yeah.
or Mickey Bay
Mickey Bay and John Molina.
And John Molina. Yeah, another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to lose a type of fight like that? Like, come on.
So it was good. It's definitely good that Lubin got him out of there, and he's now, I think, probably number one. He's now the newest mandatory for Jamel Charlo. But I'll be honest with you. Lubin will never beat Jamel Charlo.
And the way, honestly, the way that he got Rosario out was kind of questionable. Like, he hit him low the first time, which I mean, you could argue, like that was yes. And then he hit him on the ground, like he was clearly on the ground, like
he got away with it. The low one you can get kind of like, but on the ground one, I'm shocked that nobody really glared over it.
He says so too, like in the interview.
Yeah, dude in the corner, he hit him on the ground. Like, you can hear it through the broadcast, but
it definitely was questionable. Yeah, but hey, I mean, you get away with only what the ref let you get away with. So and that ref was terrible. No, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't that fight. It was a different fight. That ref was actually pretty good in this fight. But
the ref for the ref for Adames for the Adames fight was terrible.
Yeah, that I don't know if that was his first fight or whether he ref, but he clearly didn't know what the fuck he was doing in that fight. But luckily Adames, he had 2 points taken for, he didn't have the 2 points even taken properly. But at least Adames kind of realized that, this ref is on some bullshit, so let me get rid of this guy real quick. He has nothing for me. So, I mean, and he did that. So, Carlos Adames will probably, I think he'll fit in at PBC 154. I mean, clearly, he has enough power, he has enough skills, but now will he become a champion? It depends. It really just depends on how long, once these belts unify, how long can they keep them unified? And two,
because it's 154. Everybody has a chance.
Right.
In 154, like you have an off night or somebody has their best night, them belts might change hands.
Right.
Yeah. 154 has heavyweight house money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if the judges, you wake up to some trash ass judges like Charlo did in that first Harrison fight.
Yes, sir.
Then those are two possibilities that happen. Trash judges, or you have an off night and your opponent has his best night of his life type shit, and all three of them happen at 154 on a regular basis. Usually the other two, the judges don't be coming in the hand with this shit because these ass whoopings be so severe.
Right. That ref was just awful though, man. Carl Adames, I could see him being a champion maybe in a year or two, depending on, like I said, he has enough to compete in the actual division, but it remains to be seen because his opponent was just basically just brought in to job. Like he didn't offer much, especially once he started feeling some power. So, and then also too in the opener we had Batir Akhmadev, of the Barrios fight fame versus former world champion Argenis Mendez, and that fight pretty much sort of went the way I expected it to go. The only thing I didn't expect was Mendez countering Akhmadev pretty regularly. Had him kind of leaking too. I think it was from the punches. I don't remember if it was from the punches or the headbutt, or if there was a headbutt. But Mendez though, like I said, because I consider Mendez a little washed, so that those click counts were bothering me a little bit. But as they got Akhmadev is known for grinding people down, starting mid-fight and then get to a later fight. And then Mendez clearly didn't want any more of it. So he kind of, quote-unquote, retired with a broken hand. Akhmadev definitely, he got himself a good victory. And, I definitely want to see him versus Barrios again in the rematch, which makes for a perfect segue now into our main event. We have Tank and Barrios. First of all, I have to say it was an action-packed fight. It was a hell of a fight to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they were throwing. They were really throwing in that fight. And optics-wise, it did seem like the fight was pretty close to the first half of the fight. Like,
It was.
I know there have been some arguments that I saw that it wasn't as close as people thought. You know, it was closer than the judges had it. You know, but
Yeah, that's true. It was closer than what the scores the judges had by the time.
It's kind of one of those. Well, what do you value more, like type of things?
yeah, no, but I think, but yeah, when Tank though broke it open though with those 2 knockdowns in the 8th round, I think that was the beginning of the end for Mario Barrios.
Well, of course, like the power and talent prevail, but like I said earlier, man, Tank had to earn that shit. The fight was highly close in the first half. Like there was one point where you could say Mario was winning.
He was.
Right.
Yeah,
He was. It wasn't really until the 6th round that the tide started to turn for Tank, like completely.
Yeah.
It was very similar. Like I said, it was kind of similar to the LSE fight to some degree. You know, like where it was just kind of a pretty close fight. You know, 6-6. You know, 3-3. You know, 6 in. You know what I mean? And then Tank just kind of.
But see, they was going more punch for punch with the Leo Santa Cruz fight. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
that you could have had swing rounds. In this shit, it was more so like one guy was controlling it and winning it, whereas Leo Santa Cruz and Tank was more of a shootout. That the ebb and flow. Sometimes Santa Cruz looked like he'd get a little better of it. Sometimes Tank looked like he'd get a little better of it, and then it fell into its own rhythm, and then boom, Tank wins. This shit was more like, okay, hold on. I'm not saying this is Israel Vasquez versus fucking Johnny Gonzalez,
Right.
but you know, some adjustments and comebacks had to be made a little bit. So yeah, I thought we got a good fight. Overall, it was a pretty good pay-per-view. Is it worthy of pay-per-view? No.
No, it was not. It was not pay-per-view price, whatever. You know, and then,
I felt like it had more entertainment value overall as a pay-per-view than a lot of pay-per-views we've had.
It was a good card. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like overall, it was a good card.
That round, to me, that round 10 between them, one of the best rounds I can remember in a long ass time. Personally, for me, I don't know. That round 10 was dope as fuck to me.
Yeah, niggas was throwing hands. Like I enjoyed the fight. Barrios, he did some good things. He did some bad things.
no, the bad thing was he forgot to he didn't use his dimensions enough. You know, because unfortunately he fell into the Aztec warrior mindset, so he put himself in the line of fire a little bit too much and got ate up.
He did, because I felt like he waited too long for Tank. Like he was standing in front of Tank for too long without moving his hands. And that's a no-no.
Yeah, and there were times where I'm like, he should have used his height advantage more. Instead, he's crouching down. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you crouching down?
Because
like,
Tank is already 5 inches shorter than him. Tank is already low, and then Tank was dipping and going low. Like, remember when they were saying Floyd was telling him to Tank go low? That's what he was doing, because he was making Barrios bring down his center of gravity. And so now when Tank springs up, he don't even have to spring up that high to hit him.
I mean, he didn't have to fall for that trap, because I know what you were talking. I agree.
Of course he don't. Of course,
why are you following him? Like, wait till he dips back up, and then bam.
But see, that's a corner shit. That's what ring IQ and what your corner has to do with that. They got to see that. And as a boxer, you got to have enough intelligence to say, like, man, fuck all this low shit. He should have took a step back and just started pumping out the jab on some, like, look, you get to me type shit. Where he was really always trying to chase Tank down and then get to his level like Peace in. And why, I'm like 6 inches taller than you. What the fuck I need to get to your level for?
Word.
And Tank a spring up with those damn those lead lefts or those damn fucking dragon punches or falcon punches and just fucking hooks. Niggas throwing every fucking Capcom SNK move out there with fucking punches.
Yeah, I have to say though, Tank showed a really impressive offensive arsenal.
Hell yeah.
That feint and then right hook combination. I was like, yo, I was like, that shit was highlight. I actually thought the fight was over after he did that shit. I was just like,
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Barrios should have made an adjustment right there and then not to trade with this dude, but he didn't make an adjustment, and like I said, the beating came more swiftly. After that.
I felt like his adjustment a lot of times was just fight harder, which is a terrible adjustment to make.
Yeah.
Which I mean, he had his. I hate it when they make that. Well, I mean, just fight harder. Like, no, fighting harder. I mean, it made for some more exciting boxing, but it also led to his demise a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Right, and then also another thing too that was underrated in Tank's corner, Floyd telling him that he was losing the fight.
Yeah, and he wasn't. He wasn't really.
When Floyd said that shit, Tank got his mind, because that's sometimes when fighters are starting to whoop a little ass, they may kind of like fall back a little bit. They might want to coast a little bit.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I did appreciate that from Floyd, but I also didn't appreciate him completely undermining Calvin Ford like 90% of the time. Like, let Calvin Ford do his stuff.
Yeah, I did see that. I was feeling a little way about that too.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. So yeah, they might have to change that. Like, either Floyd's gonna be the head trainer or Calvin Ford's gonna they can't be two head trainers in it, because that's gonna lead to conflict. And yes, so yeah, they can't do that. And Calvin Ford, he basically raised Tank, so
yeah,
you don't want to create an unnecessary situation where you don't need to, where it's not needed. So yeah.
But to his credit, Calvin Ford, he didn't argue with it. He didn't show any type of visual disrespect, displeasure with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he let it unfold, and it worked. And the win is more important than all them niggas beefing. So,
which is true.
That's true.
Sometimes you gotta have the maturity in the situation and be like, look, it could come across that way, but fuck it, I want my man to win. And maybe that's what Tank needed to hear too, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is. I mean, I'm not trying to dick right. It is Floyd Mayweather, so I think it'll be.
Which is funny though, because even though he told him you're losing, he was really winning. Like, unbeknownst to him,
he was starting to pull through, but some people could have still had him losing.
Sometimes
at least tied.
You need that kick in your ass, just and it worked. So shit.
Absolutely.
It goes back to what I used to say about the fight with Eddie Chambers and Calvin Brock. And Calvin Brock has damn fucking the god Sweet Pea Whitaker in his corner with his father. And, dude kept listening to his father, but Sweet Pea is telling him the right shit to do. And he's like if you ever see this fight, oh my God, like the corner moments with Sweet Pea, there's basically like yelling at dude and just like putting his heart and soul into his corner advice. And the dude is like looking all confused, like, damn, what should I do? Listen to a fucking all-time great or my dad? I don't know.
In this case, he probably should have, because that's where, of course, Calvin Brock picked up his career-ending eye injury, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, so it just, sometimes you got to look at the result, man. Like, if he would have listened to Sweet Pea in that fight, maybe things have been different for his career.
Right.
And I'm not even getting it's a hard situation, it's not a situation that people get in every day, but as a person, you gotta have the ring IQ to realize, look, hold on. Jesus himself came down here and told me I need to chill with the ad-libs on this verse. My homeboy right here that just be gassing up everything I do because I be paying this nigga. Yeah, I listen to the spirit right now. Like, nigga, come on.
Facts. But like I said, it was definitely a good win. Like, the crowd was into it. Tank though need to be careful about doing them high ass backflips though, because they do got mad
crazy.
I just made a gif of that. That was dangerous though. God damn.
Yeah, because
we trying to one up Teofimo with the flips, like.
Teofimo gets tight though, but yeah, because how high that nigga jump, like dude flip.
I think he did one up Teofimo. Like, you can't say Teofimo has a better competition than Tank anymore. Like, I don't think you can now. I think it's about even.
Whatever.
I'm looking at the whole, like, even if you say Teofimo is by a little bit, it's not like leaps and bounds and shit.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. The Loma win,
the Barrios was a good fucking win, man.
Yeah, Barrios was the warrior for sure. Yeah, definitely.
So when you put LSC, Pedraza, and Barrios and you compare them to them,
Coleman.
Lopez's biggest wins, Lomachenko, Kami, and Nakatani.
I mean, it depends because I don't think that much of Barrios like that. That's the reason why I'm not really.
He's a better fighter than Nakatani.
Like I said, I mean, we just.
I'll agree there.
Like, why is this nigga being so difficult? Like, I'm not.
Nigga, cause like I told you before, I'm not.
Yeah, like I'm saying, look, Pat is making it sound like I'm saying Joe Messi's a better fighter than Tommy.
I know, but I give Pat's consistent because he hasn't fucked with Barrios ever since the
ever since after that fight. I've said it ever since that fight.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, like.
I can't. That's why I can't give Barrios that type of,
You be consistent to a fault, though, nigga. Like that's why I took you so long on the monster bandwagon.
Because, like I said, because the Barrios fight, because Barrios isn't like, I mean, at 140, he's not one of the dangerous niggas in that division to me. There's far more dangerous.
He's still top 10. He's still dangerous, though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when I see someone like Akhmedov who's kind of struggling with Mendez, and I remember him beating the shit out of Barrios for a large stretch of the fight, and I didn't think he won that fight. I can't give him that type of say that that's a best win type of deal. I can't.
but look at Nakatani was getting his ass kicked by Verdejo.
Yeah, but Barrios doesn't have a Verdejo type of win on his record.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, like, hold on. So Akhmadayev and Verdejo on the same level? I don't remember them winning titles. I mean, Verdejo winning a title.
Verdejo never win the title. Verdejo will never win the title.
Yeah, exactly. Like, stubborn ass.
Yeah, Barrios. In order for me to put Barrios, gotta show me some more. Like, if for me to put real respect on it, like Barrios has to show me some more. Like, I can't say that's a win because, like I said, I never put that much stock in him at 140 like that. I can't do that.
I mean, look, okay. So let's end this. I asked the rest of y'all. Pilot is Barrios better than Nakatani, or is Nakatani better than Barrios?
Yeah, I lean towards Barrios. Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
King P, is Nakatani better than Barrios, or Barrios? Which one is it?
I'll give the edge to Barrios. Slightly to Barrios.
I mean, it's not like,
That's all I'm saying. And you know what? If there was a fight next, because Nakatani's a big 135 pounder, if there was a fight at 140, fucking Barrios would be the favorite. And y'all niggas, and Pat knows that shit.
And I also think that that Barrios would actually get his to take a beating from that.
Nakatani. Oh my god! Like. Oh man, this man, he consistent to the end. Even though it's like, dude, you're going down the street, you're going down to a dead end. But it's a dead end I came at last week, though. But it's
that's why I'd say the Akhmedov Barrios 2 needs to happen. Like I need to see that. I have to see that.
Well, I mean, I feel it was a close fight. I think it could have been a draw, but those knockdowns are a bitch sometimes.
They are. they certainly are.
I mean, I'm a Tavares Cloud fan. I'm from Florida, so I know all about knockdowns, winning you fights that you're getting outboxed in.
Bro, I was a Cloud fan too, so it was like one of those things, man. Like I still replay that shit. This nigga's mother passed out in the rain.
I used to think Dawson Duck was ducking Cloud back in the day.
I did want to see that fight.
Now you're bringing him back.
I did want to see that fucking fight. Like, damn, we didn't get that.
We got every other fight with Cloud, but except that one. Shit.
Did we get a Cloud Pascal fight?
No, we did not.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, so we didn't get every other fight.
Yeah,
and Dawson fought Pascal.
Yeah, we got Cloud getting the shit beat out of him by Better Beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was washed up Cloud. Like, come on, like, that wasn't no prime Cloud or anything.
I know, but like I'm saying that that was when he got put to pasture. At that point, it was.
But
he went through a lot. I mean, he did the Glenn Johnson fight. Cloud beat faced a lot of good people and beat a lot of good people.
He hurt Glenn Johnson. Like, that was the first time we seen Glenn Johnson hurt since, like, ever.
Yeah, like like he really beat. He was so underrated. But once he stepped up, like that the Hopkins and the Superman fights and the Better Be fights. Yeah, that was a wrap after all those. And then after that struggling with that Campino fight we just talked about. Yeah, it was a wrap. Them knockdowns, boy. Yeah, sometimes you get away with the win, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, so that's all. At the end of the day, like, it'd be good for Tank and Teofimo Lopez to fight. But I'm not one of these, and I'm a Lopez fan. I'm a fan of both of these guys, but I'm not gonna sit here and say Teofimo now has like the better competition now. I feel like it's kind of evened up. Barrios was a dangerous fight for Tank, and it was a fight that was unnecessary. He didn't really need that fight.
Very unnecessary.
When you beat up somebody and you stop them in an unnecessary fight, and it's an unnecessary fight where there's ramifications. Like, you could lose this fight. It's still the person actually has a chance against you. Mm-hmm. And they even win rounds on your ass, even rock you a couple times. Like, that's a legit fight. So
yeah, and this is the Tank. I don't think Tank is cut out for this 140 life now, because he did get rocked a couple times by Barrios.
Now all that's gonna do now is gonna make Regis Prograis just do a bigger full court press for that fight.
Yeah, that brother's starving. But I do want to see that fight. Yeah, I mean, he's been begging for an AB, Tank, a 140 fight that's winnable. That's a payday.
Yeah,
I do want to see that. I mean, I don't know. It's
now that we seen Tank at 140 though. Now the fight looks like okay. It's good. Before it just seemed like Prograis was just on some like, it's like when Shields wanted to keep fighting breakers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
it has more of a chance happening than some other fights that we want to see him in because Floyd basically went up and admitted that they're keeping Tank with the in-house fights. Only PBC. So I mean, which happens in every promotion, but he's just being upfront about it.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like he's just being upfront about that shit. Cause we see what happens. A lot of these niggas ain't really trying to make real crossover fights like that.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, the only one that really has no issues with making crossover fights is Eddie Hearn and Natural, but they do it to their detriment. To the detriment. They lose most of those. Like, Eddie Hearn comes out in the losing end most of those crossover fights.
Yeah, but the fighters get paid, and they're doing it. I feel like they're doing it more so for the betterment of the sport, and their fighters get paid. But like you said, they do be at their expense. But at the end of the day, if their guy ain't really fighting nobody like that, then why not?
Yeah, I mean,
Saunders.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has to make sense.
My fault, Pat. My fault, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, it definitely has to make sense for real. Like, I mean, there are PBC fighters that have got off the platform. Like, Danny Jacobs is the most famous example, which is the reason why people have smoke for Jamal Charlo. And then we have Brian Castano, who went off to get him that WBO belt and brought it back, which I salute.
And remember, we got Hooker Ramirez too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, like Hooker retained his belt on Top Rank because he beat up Saucedo, and then Ramirez returned the favor by taking Hooker's belts. So
the fights can happen, man. It's just people want to blame certain sides. Like, they all to blame in a sense, but I'd rather you just come up front and say, look, we're trying to get these in-house fights done first. Because what happens if someone comes out front and says that puts the onus on someone else to really go above and beyond and send orders. And send fight contracts and try to really get the public behind them to make the fight. And nobody's really doing that. They just
nobody's pressed to do it. Yeah.
No one really wants to make the fights. Like, the PBC side be trying to make the fights harder than anybody, really. At least you just get legit contracts.
But the thing with that is, like, if you're gonna say that, then you have to. Then if there's any backlash from any of the fights that you want to make with Tank and they're not pay-per-view worthy, you inviting that. Like I said,
it's gonna be pay-per-view worthy. I mean, it's gonna be like. Well, I'm saying like, we're not gonna get the mix of the 4 jesters for now. So realistically, under the PBC banner,
This guy said the 4 gestures. Get the
Bars.
The 2 tank fights, I feel like, and I like both these fights, would be obviously Regis Prograis and Chris Colbert. Like, those 2 fights to me are the 2 fights that realistically we might see that I wouldn't mind.
Can you speak up a little? Like you're like so low.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay. What I'm saying is, under the PBC banner, realistically, the 2 fights that Tank probably, the big fights would be probably Colbert and Prograis. Those are the 2 fights.
So the thing is, though, I personally I don't think Tank should be messing around with 140 now, because 140, like I said, that's much more. They have some dangerous niggas at that division, and some on the PBC side too, that they're not going to match him with. They're not going to match him with Gary Russell or Mateus. They're not going to match him with that, because those are those cats will put their foot in his ass or really try to.
And by Gary Russell we mean Antoine
Russell.
Yeah.
But and also too, Gary Russell, the longtime champion one,
Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah,
Turbo face.
He's trying to make a fight. He's actually said that Flex would keep him away from it. And I don't think he's probably capping with that one. Because it's like they can make that fight too.
Dudes gotta just put out the offers. If it's a real offer, someone can confirm it, and people just gotta really start putting these whole like marketing behind really trying to sell and make a fight, through the public. Like, we've seen it happen before.
Absolutely.
But instead, what we get is dudes, when they have a chance to talk shit after fight interviews, they say, "Oh, holla at my manager," or "I'll fight who my boss tell me to fight," or they leave a lot on the table.
That's essentially what Tank did last night.
Yeah, but Tank is in the driver's seat. Tank could do that.
We hear it all the time. If I had
Tank's the money guy.
If I had $1, like it's like if I had $1 for every time back in the day Manny Pacquiao said, "Oh, it depends on my promoter, Mario Barrios." Like,
but that's the thing. They the money guys, though. Like, they the money guys. They don't have to call anybody out. And that's the thing. At the time, Pacquiao was still facing top guys, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somewhat.
You say yeah, like what the fuck? He wasn't facing top guys.
No. I mean, those years of the Bradley fights and those were like the complete.
Is Bradley not a Hall of Famer level fighter?
He is, but I don't want to see it 3 times.
Oh yeah, okay. You see, that's all you had to say. Like, damn. But nah, you get my point, man. Like all these dudes, they claim they want to fight each other, but they're not taking the steps to make the fights. And then it's like no one's fighting often enough, so you're out of the public eye. You can't really demand shit in the boxing networks, because boxing is one of those "what you do for me lately."
Yeah, you're basically you're basically stifling your momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, if you don't have any type of built-up fight or let me see, certain fights like a Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo, that was a fight that literally was promoted the whole fucking year.
Right.
And you paid attention to it. A lot of these guys don't have that ability to do that to these fights.
I mean,
Wilder and Tyson Fury's another one that literally will have focused on those 2 guys and say, fuck the whole division.
Because the fight basically promoted itself. It's an alley-oop. Like, there's no need to really do that on your own. It's just the fight. It promotes itself.
Yeah, but so do these fights. But they just don't have a situation with it. These guys ain't. Look, we just said how Teofimo Lopez basically had a whole year wasted. Look how many years has been wasted off a Crawford career. These guys ain't active enough. Tank Buzz will be good for the rest of the summer, but then in the fall we're gonna expect him to be in another good fight.
Yeah. And then, like I said, when the upsets start coming, we all know what to point to and what caused it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the program, realistically, if you remove everyone else out, I guess the best fight out there for Tank is Regis Prograde.
That's a fight. Easy
But
fight to make.
I don't know what they're doing because the thing is, I think they're gonna go with the whole Floyd Broner trajectory and have him fight a lot of Hispanics and Mexicans and play him up. I think they might not even keep him around a lot of brothers.
Nah, they ain't gonna.
Yeah, like I said,
and that's why Farmer fucked up by not taking the offer and making that fight happen.
Yeah, that's definitely on Farmer. Farmer didn't have he fulfilled his contract and he had the belt. He had enough leverage. He had the interest. We were all interested in a Tevin Farmer. Everyone was interested in a Tevin Farmer Tank fight. They were talking that shit to each other, and
viral videos, and that's what I'm saying. Like fights like that, those are the organic fights that need to play up. That should happen because they're literally promoted throughout the year. Mm-hmm. It's just like how Shields Hammer was promoted for like a good whole year until we finally got it. The fight was a dud, but it was anticipated as fuck.
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying. But I do think Tank had the better performance of the night due to the opponent he was fighting. It was a better opponent, more dangerous. The odds reflected that. The way the fight played out reflected that.
And speaking of that,
Lomachenko did dish out the crazy ass whooping.
He did. And speaking of that, we do have a poll though, which I'll let P lead us into about that. P?
One moment. Loading. All right, I'm back. But had to get everything, get all the particulars in order. You know what I'm saying? But
it didn't take Loma that long to download Nakatani in real time.
Oh, stop it. Well, you know what I'm saying? Our polls punch harder than Nakatani. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but you know what I'm saying?
Nakatani shit, our polls be punching harder than damn fucking Wilder sometimes. Fuck all that. Like,
facts.
Yeah.
Got the early favorite polls.
But
polls be dropping niggas. Dudes be speaking in other languages on our polls.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Fuck this, I must tell Ring Gangs my thoughts and feelings.
Whip out the Google Translate. But last night's poll was, we both got a lot of boxing and a lot of focus on both main events. And so it's simple. Both of them ended up in knockout, but who had the better performance last night? Loma or Tank? And still time to vote, so you can still vote. 39 votes so far. And 54% said Loma had the better performance, as opposed to 46% that said Tank, which is very close, very close.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Personally, I thought Tank had the better performance, but if you thought Loma did, I can't blame you.
I mean, like I said, Loma did put his foot in Nakatani's ass, though. I mean, that was a brutal ass whooping. But like I said, I mean, Lomachenko needed that, and Tank needed this at least.
Yeah, but Tank gave us an uppercut season with some flavor to the body, just alternative uppercut season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you did call the body a lot, P. I gotta give you that.
I did. I said the wrong punch, though. I said a right hook to the body, and he hit him with a right uppercut that basically just dropped him on impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd say Tank had a better performance because Tank, there was some adversity, but he kept at it, and obviously, the other shit was just kind of one-sided, too lopsided to say, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely picked the Lomachenko one, and that's like I said mostly. I mean, if I had to base off the last performance, Nakatani knocked out Verdejo, and Barrios knocked out Cowboy Carl. Yeah, so it's like I put one that's why it's like they made the
Yo, this
actual.
nigga gonna die on this Nakatani hill.
I am, bruh.
Like, oh my
that
goodness.
hill's not. That's not my hill to die on. I'll
Yeah,
retreat.
for real.
Yeah, I don't die.
Yo, King P. This about me like when we was reviewing the Ice Cube album, and all of us was like, "Yo, this shit's like a 9. This shit's like an 8," and this nigga's like, "Man, that's just a 4." No, fuck y'all. I said, Pat is always the odd out kid, yo. Like, man, it's 90 degrees. It's hot as fuck outside. And nigga Pat come outside with a trench coat, like, nah, nigga. In Nigeria, this would be like winter time, nigga. Fuck out of here. Like, nah, you serious? Like, motherfucker just pass out right in front of him. He'll just step over him like the Lomachenko knockdown. I'm like, nah, man, this ain't nothing, nigga. Like, have you ever seen an elephant pass out, nigga? Fuck out of here.
Good lord.
I'm just saying, like, that's Pat though. Like that's our dude. Like that's Pat. Like
that's how I do. I die on hills until there's no more hill to die on. So it's like, yeah. I'm gonna stick to that Nakatani Hill.
You can't die and come back to life. Once you die, you die. That's why I'm not dying on the Nakatani Hill. There are plenty of more hills worthy of dying on.
Let a nigga be wrong about Charlo Castaño or even Wilder Fury.
Hey, I already said I'm keeping my mouth shut on what goes down for Wilder Fury 3 and Usyk Joshua because I'm gonna let, like I said, the boxing gods can let that shit play out.
The boxing guys haven't been merciful for you for the heavyweights.
Yeah,
the way Trisora and the way Joseph Parker and Ruiz been looking, they ain't been healthy on anybody.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna pick. Like, I picked Wilder to win twice, and he let me down because he couldn't take advantage of certain things. So, like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm gonna be neutral. I'm gonna watch this as a ring gang fan. And I'm gonna keep it that way.
Well, I've been on record as saying I don't like Fury, so that's where my heart is. But we'll see where my head is come fight time.
Yeah, I don't like either of them. So that makes what I say a lot clearer.
No, I actually like Wilder, so I try to be nice sometimes because you guys are like so ruthless towards him. I'm like, all right, but it is what it is.
He makes it easy. I'll say that. He makes it fucking easy. And the thing is, y'all be getting outsiders, so it's like I feel like everybody gets got on equally around here. Like,
yeah, like I mean, like Wilder, I just don't support fuck shit. Like some of the shit that he does.
yeah, and we got on Lomachenko and his damn fucking Crybaby series, the Reloaded documentary before the
Hell yeah.
This is true.
Wasting all that time. I'd rather see him do circuit tricks for like 30 minutes than him bitching about a fucking fight that he.
Or this is nigga play tennis or some shit. Like, but yo, man, well, enough about the past, yo.
Yeah. So yeah,
time to move toward the future. Updated fight that's happening.